Boo!
I do have one more story. It's a very short story, but I think it'll be a good one to end on. Nothing good happening here, by the way, but it's a quick story, and I think it'll be a good one to end on for the night.
Sounds good to me.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Good. Remember those commercials? So this one is called Gravy Burn on Thanksgiving. One Thanksgiving when I was a kid, my drunk uncles spilled hot gravy on my sister. We were all sitting down for dinner, and my uncle straight up sticks his finger in one of the gravy bowls and starts complaining that it's too cold. My mom tells him that she's busy. If he wants it any hotter, he can get up and microwave it himself. I watched this whole thing happen. He got up, warmed up the gravy, staggered back over to the table, then basically emptied out the entire bowl of steaming gravy all over my sister's leg. She was only 5 years old at the time, and the noise that she made as it started burning was something that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. People just jumped into action, pulling my sister's chair back from the table while another rushed to fill up a bowl of cold water to pour it onto the burn. That is how I saw the wound, and it was every bit hideous as you can imagine. The gravy had basically just burned some of the flesh away. You could just see patches of red, but the burn hadn't started bleeding or anything like that. It literally just looked like zombie skin you'd see in a movie or something. Just a big patch of it on my sister's leg. She screamed so loud the neighbors called the cops. They didn't even come over to check on us. The scream scared them so bad that they just called the cops instead. When the ambulance arrived, they drove my sister to the hospital, and they ended up doing some kind of skin graft. She healed up okay in the end, but like a year after this, she had this patch of skin that was a shade lighter than the rest of her skin. Given that we're half Latino, you could see it. It looked extra jarring at the pool the next summer. Oh, and we don't talk to that drunk uncle anymore. Not just because of Gravygate, but my mom said that it was definitely the beginning of the end for him. And just in case anyone is going to be like, oh, he has a disease, alcoholism. He was still an idiot after he sobered up. Booze didn't seem to have anything to do with it. How he was as a person.
Oh, shit.
That's another thing you wouldn't forget as a kid either, would you?
No. God.
We've all had things happen on the holidays. I'm thankful nothing like this.
That's horrible.
How long did he warm this damn gravy up for? Jeez.
I don't know, but I would have beat the piss out of him.
Gravygate. Yeah, Gravygate was actually, that's what it said.
I mean,
Beat the piss out of him. How terrible is that? I can picture this in my head, by the way.
yeah, me too.
Some idiot, some idiot uncle. It's a terrible story, and you would never forget. I'm laughing. It's not funny.
No.
The only thing I'm laughing is because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Very realistic. I mean, we share a lot of these stories, and it's like, is this true or not? It's just a terrible thing to happen on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, nuts. Oh, wow.
When he described the screaming, that really made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Being a father, kids that age, I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah, definitely. Wow.
Super heated up. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you'd warm it up that, but I guess if you're intoxicated, I don't know.
Fuck, that's rough.
It's like not like a evil person or like a ghost or a trap or anything we've covered tonight, but this is something that just a terrible thing that happened during Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
It is scary too, may I add. I think it's pretty scary.
There's a lot to that, but man, that is rough. And I'm glad that they ended up being okay in the end. And, they had to get a skin graft, but I'm sure that they were fine.
Would that be the straw that broke the camel's back for the uncle for you too?
Is
there any coming back from that? Like, I don't know,
I didn't catch. Did he do this intentionally or was it accidentally?
They didn't say, but I took it as accidental.
So if it was accidental, I would definitely laughed him as hard as possible.
Warming up that long is absurd.
And then I would, he would have to obviously get his drinking under control at that point. I don't know that unless there was more to it, like obviously they said there was the beginning and the end. Maybe he did other things that
sounds like he was known as the idiot uncle.
Part of me wouldn't necessarily completely ostracize him, but I would be so ticked off, and like I would want him to leave so that I wouldn't kill him. then I would be like, you know what, you gotta get cleaned up.
Let us know in the chat. Did you take? You listened to the story, and I read it exactly as this. Did you take it as something intentional, or did you take it as a mistake? Just an accident.
Like, if it was intentional, that's a whole different ball of wax. And that would have been, at that point, it's like, yeah, this guy needs to go.
We'll see what the chat says. I'm curious, because I didn't take it as intentional.
You know what's weird? I didn't at first either, but then I was like, wait, was it intentional? Because, like, they got rid of him and stuff like that. And I was like, did he do it, like, I don't know, it's like a stunt or something? I don't know.
Let's look at everything. I'm seeing accidental. There's a lot of accidental feelings on this one.
It probably was, but I would still be so furious. If it was accidental, I don't think I would ostracize him from the family,
Yeah, but then again, we also don't know
what else happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they said that this wasn't the only thing, and his mom said it was the beginning of the end.
Viv Games has a good point here. How did the uncle react to all this? That didn't get brought up. Was he sorry? Was he,
Yeah, that's a good question. Regardless of how that all played out, the inter-family, stuff like that, it's horrifying that this happened.
Yeah, I can almost, I can't feel the pain, obviously, but
I can really see it happening, like especially an accident, something being too hot and it falling over on someone. I accidentally burned myself as a child, pulling down, like, just barely not boiling water. Like, it had just finished boiling, and I poured it onto my arm, and it got beet red, and it was blistered and stuff. That idea of something ultra hot spilling on you.
Yeah.
I can picture it, and but also, like, picture someone holding something, stumbling around, and accidentally pouring on them, and, like, this sinking feeling in your stomach as you irrevocably scarred someone for life.
He was a kid, and he saw all this, he said.
And then you see this happening to this child, and the just the total fear and panic throughout the entire family that would have just swept through everybody.
Just chaos, right?
That's a scary story because of how real it is. Yeah, that's nuts.
Will it make you think of Gravy another way when you see it?
I definitely want to make sure that nobody microwaves anything for too long. No one's too drunk.
He obviously doesn't think highly of the uncle. He started off by saying being ridiculous, sticking his fingers in the gravy or something. But what a way to end.
Good night.
Jeff Townsend Media. CG, good night.
And the question is, do I stay here? Will you be back? Are you gonna come back? Will you be back? Are you coming back?